Welcome back, fight fans. In the world of mixed martial arts, adaptability is everything. It's not just about having knockout power or superior grappling skills. The greatest fighters are the ones who can seamlessly switch between styles, tactics, and strategies, adapting to any opponent they face. Today, we're diving into the top 10 most versatile MMA fighters of all time, those warriors who dominated multiple weight classes, mastered various disciplines, and showcased their unmatched ability to adapt inside the octagon. From legendary champions to revolutionary fighters, these athletes didn't just fight, they changed the game forever. So grab your gloves and get ready to be inspired by the most well-rounded and dynamic fighters in MMA history. Let's get into it. But before it, our traditional question. Who is the only fighter to win championships in 3 different UFC weight classes? A. Randy Couture. B. Henry Cejudo. C. Georges St. Pierre. D. B.J. Penn. Write your answers in the comments. Do you like our content? Subscribe to our channel for breakdowns, fighter stories, and deep dives into the biggest fights in the sport. The 1. Georges St. Pierre. Georges St. Pierre hails from Quebec, Canada, and is considered one of the greatest tacticians the sport has ever seen. Known for his unmatched fight IQ, he was the UFC welterweight champion for several years and won the middleweight title in 2017, returning for a 4-year hiatus to defeat Michael Bisping. GSP's comeback fight against Michael Bisping was a turning point in his career. After dominating the welterweight division, GSP returned to a new weight class and secured a submission victory in the 3rd round against a tough Bisping. His battles with BJ Penn, particularly their rematch at UFC 94, cemented GSP's ability to neutralize the talents of elite fighters. GSP dominated Penn for 4 rounds, forcing a doctor stoppage. GSP's most underrated weapon, his adaptability. GSP was notorious for his ability to tailor his fight strategy to every opponent. If he fought a striker, he'd use his wrestling. If he fought a grappler, he'd keep it standing and outstrike them. His dominance came from seamlessly blending Muay Thai, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Jiu-Jitsu, and Karate, giving him an answer for any opponent's strength. 2. Amanda Nunes. Amanda "The Lioness" Nunes is a Brazilian mixed martial artist who transformed women's MMA. She is the only fighter, male or female, to simultaneously defend UFC titles in 2 weight classes, bantamweight and featherweight. Nunes became a superstar by knocking out Ronda Rousey in just 48 seconds, marking the end of an era and the beginning of her reign as the greatest female fighter. Her knockout victory over Chris Cyborg at UFC 232, where she ended Cyborg's undefeated streak, is often hailed as the most impressive victory in women's MMA. She didn't just beat Cyborg, she dismantled her in under a minute. Nunes is equally dangerous whether on the ground or on her feet. What makes her so versatile is her ability to switch from a knockout artist to a grappler with ease. She has dominated fighters with submissions, as seen in her victory over Miesha Tate to win the bantamweight title, and also knocked out elite strikers. Interesting fact, before her UFC dominance, Nunes fought in 3 weight classes, featherweight, bantamweight, and catchweight, early in her career, proving her adaptability long before becoming champion. 3. B.J. Penn. Hailing from Hawaii, BJ the Prodigy Pennsylvania earned his nickname by winning a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championship after just 3 years of training, a feat that is still regarded as unprecedented. Penn became a UFC champion in 2 weight classes, lightweight and welterweight. His epic rivalry with Matt Hughes included one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. Moving up from lightweight to challenge Hughes for the welterweight title, Penn shocked the world by submitting Hughes in the 1st round. Penn's fight against Diego Sanchez at UFC 107 showcased his boxing and takedown defense, leaving fans awestruck as he sliced Sanchez open with pinpoint accuracy. Known for his freakish flexibility and legendary BJ skills, Penn wasn't just a submission artist. His boxing, combined with an iron chin and relentless pressure, allowed him to stand with elite strikers. Penn's fearlessness led him to challenge Lyoto Machida at heavyweight, despite weighing significantly less than his opponent. BJ fought across a variety of weight classes from lightweight all the way up to heavyweight. His willingness to fight anyone, anytime, at any weight is a testament to his fearlessness and versatility. 4. Daniel Cormier. A former Olympic wrestler, Daniel D.C. Cormier became a two-division champion, holding both the UFC light, heavyweight, and heavyweight titles. He's known for his charismatic personality and his ability to adjust his wrestling heavy game to suit each opponent. Cormier's rivalry with Jon Jones is one of the most iconic in UFC history. Though he came up short against Jones, DC bounced back by defeating Anthony "Rumble" Johnson, showcasing his ability to neutralize knockout power with wrestling. His first round knockout of Stipe Miocic at UFC 226 to win the heavyweight title was perhaps his crowning achievement. Few expected Cormier to KO the reigning heavyweight king. DC's versatility stems from his Olympic-level wrestling, but what truly made him a two-division champion was his improved striking and an ability to fight both taller light heavyweights and bigger heavyweights. He excelled in clinch work, dirty boxing, and adapting his wrestling to the larger opponents in the heavyweight division. Cormier is one of the few fighters to hold UFC championships in two divisions at the same time, and he even competed at heavyweight earlier in his career before cutting down to light heavyweight for his UFC run. 5. Henry C. Cudo. Henry C. Cudo is a former Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, a UFC flyweight champion, and a UFC bantamweight champion. Though known for his rapid improvement in striking, Cudo went from being a purely wrestling-based fighter to a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Cudo dethroned Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, considered one of the greatest of all time, in a close decision win, avenging an earlier loss. He then moved up to bantamweight, where he knocked out Marlon Moraes to claim the title, becoming one of the few fighters to hold belts in two divisions. Cudo's success stems from his ability to integrate his Olympic-level wrestling with imperial-like striking. His speed, pressure, and ability to execute a perfect game plan made him dangerous at both flyweight and bantamweight. His striking improvements, especially his kicks, became a significant weapon in his later fights. Cudo famously called himself Triple C after winning an Olympic gold medal and UFC titles in two weight classes. He embraced his role as a showman, frequently calling out fighters in humorous, calculated ways. 6. Valentina Shevchenko. A lifelong martial artist, Valentina "Bullet" Shevchenko holds multiple world titles in Muay Thai and MMA. She is the reigning UFC flyweight champion and has competed at bantamweight against some of the sport's best, including Amanda Nunes. Shevchenko's razor-close decision loss to Amanda Nunes at UFC 215 is still debated by fans. Many believe Shevchenko won, showcasing her ability to go 5 rounds against a larger, equally skilled opponent. Kick knockout of Jessica I in a flyweight title defense was a career highlight, displaying her precision striking and timing. Shevchenko's Muay Thai background gives her some of the best striking in the sport, but it's her grappling that has surprised many. With submission victories in defensive wrestling, Shevchenko has proven that her ground game is as dangerous as her striking. This well-roundedness has allowed her to dominate in 2 weight classes. In addition to fighting, Shevchenko is a competitive shooter and holds multiple black belts in different martial arts. She is also fluent in Russian, Spanish, and English, reflecting her multicultural upbringing. 7. Jon Jones. Jon "Bones" Jones is often considered the greatest MMA fighter of all time due to his dominance in the light heavyweight division. Jones became the youngest UFC champion at age 23 and has never been legitimately defeated in the cage. Jones' dismantling of Mauricio Shogun Rua to win the light heavyweight title at UFC 128 signaled the arrival of a new era. Jones used his reach, creativity, and diverse skill set to dominate. His rivalry with Daniel Cormier, including their first fight at UFC 182, was a masterpiece in Jones' ability to neutralize elite wrestlers with striking, clinch work, and a mix of wrestling techniques. Inside Jones' adaptability is legendary. His wrestling was once his strongest asset, but over the years his striking and submission game became equally dangerous. Known for using spinning elbows, standing guillotines, and oblique kicks, Jones is one of the most unpredictable fighters in UFC history. He blends techniques from various martial arts, keeping opponents guessing. Despite his dominance at light heavyweight, Jones is planning to move to heavyweight to challenge for the title, further showcasing his willingness to test his versatility against larger fighters. 8. Conor McGregor. Conor the Notorious McGregor became the first fighter to hold titles in 2 UFC divisions simultaneously. Known for his knockout power, McGregor rose from obscurity in Ireland to global superstardom with his brash personality and sharp left hand. And McGregor's 13-second knockout of Jose Aldo to win the featherweight title is one of the fastest and most iconic knockouts in UFC history. His move up to lightweight culminated in a dominant victory over Eddie Alvarez, making McGregor the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles simultaneously. McGregor's knockout power and accuracy were hallmarks of his featherweight and lightweight careers, but his willingness to move up to welterweight and even box Floyd Mayweather demonstrated his versatility. While his grappling is often underrated, McGregor showed solid defense and improvements in his ground game later fights. McGregor's ability to generate pay-per-view buys is unparalleled. His transition from UFC to boxing against Floyd Mayweather remains one of the highest-grossing events in combat sports history. 9. Randy Couture. Randy the Natural Couture was one of the pioneers of MMA, becoming the first fighter to win UFC championships in both the heavyweight and light heavyweight divisions. Couture's Greco-Roman wrestling was his base, but his mental toughness and fight IQ made him an ageless wonder in the sport. Couture's TKO victory over Vitor Belfort at UFC 15 set the stage for his long-lasting success. His ability to control the fight with wrestling and dirty boxing neutralized Belfort's fast hands. At age 43, Couture came out of retirement to defeat Tim Sylvia for the UFC heavyweight title in one of the biggest upsets in MMA history. Couture's adaptability came from his ability to impose his wrestling against bigger and younger opponents. His clinch work and dirty boxing made him a unique threat, as he used his wrestling to wear down opponents against the cage. His legendary cardio allowed him to outlast younger opponents. Couture holds the record for the most title reigns in UFC history, having won the heavyweight title 3 times and the light heavyweight title twice. His willingness to adapt his game as he aged kept him competitive well into his 40s. 10. Demetrius Johnson. Mighty Mouse is often considered the most well-rounded fighter in MMA history. Johnson dominated the UFC's flyweight division, defending his title a record 11 times, and has continued his success in 1 championship. Johnson's submission victory over Ray Borg, where he performed a suplex to armbar transition, is regarded as one of the most innovative finishes in MMA history. His razor-close split decision loss to Henry Cejudo was his final UFC fight, but his dominance over the flyweight division during his reign was unparalleled. Johnson's ability to mix striking, grappling, and submissions made him a puzzle for opponents to solve. His speed, fight IQ, and ability to execute complex transitions made him one of the most well-rounded champions in history. Johnson was equally dangerous in striking and grappling, making him the epitome of a versatile fighter. Johnson's record-breaking 11 consecutive title defenses in the flyweight division still stands as one of the most impressive feats in MMA history. His ability to seamlessly transition between wrestling, striking, and submissions has inspired a generation of fighters. Who do you think is the most versatile fighter of all time? Did we miss someone from your top 10? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, keep training hard and stay sharp, fight fans.